Hello and welcome. Today we had a very eventful come uneventful press conference. I thought it was fairly okay, but after the press conference, we have seen a lot of talk, a lot of banter going on social media. Something we must address because is this deliberate? Is this fair? Is this unfair? What is going on in Indian cricket at the moment? Something that all of us in this show will address. Rohit, Shomik, Devashish, Bharat, and myself, and we will also take a lot of viewer questions. First things first. Uh, Gautam Gambhir's comment on Ricky Ponting was actually the one sort of standout moment in that press conference when I thought Gambhir lost a bit of composure and got a little frustrated. He got triggered by that question and he said, "Who is Ricky Ponting to talk about Indian cricket?" The question I posed to all my guests. And the journalist who had asked the question had said that Ricky Ponting has said Virat Kohli has scored some 300s in the last 4 or 5 years or something like that. And does he merit a place in the Indian team? This was the context based on which Gautam answered, who is Ricky Ponting to talk about Indian cricket? Now, my question to all my guests here is why is it that Indian journalists today, if Sachin Tendulkar or Sunil Gavaskar says that the Australian bowling attack which played 2018 and 2021 lost to India, they should have all been removed? Will this be a headline in Australia? Why is it that Indian journalists, part of our fraternity, take Ricky Ponting so seriously and ask questions or make Ricky Ponting a national headline? If he was talking about batsmanship in Australia, I would understand. He has the credibility and the credentials to do that. But why is Ricky Ponting so important that Indians will have to debate that and ask the head coach in a pre-departure press conference? What is this obsession? Will Tendulkar be given with treated with same seriousness in Australia, or be given this much amount of newsprint? I will ask all of my guests to take the stand. Let's start with you, Shomik, in terms of seriousness, rather in terms of seniority. Shubhan's also joined me, and it's an important thing. Why don't you start, Shomik? Why is Ricky Ponting so important that we in the media will have to ask this question of our head coach in a pre-departure press conference about the primary player? Will Tendulkar or Gavaskar or Lakshman or Dravid or anyone will get that same amount of leverage in Australia? Shomik.
Never. Maybe if Sachin says something, Australian media will write it. But the fact of the matter is that that is how, unfortunately, that's how the large section of the Indian media works. I mean, let alone Ricky Ponting. If tomorrow Nathan Bracken says something, maybe you will see that. I mean, that is gobbling up all column inches. So this is how it works. And I mean. This, unfortunate this is have you ever seen um, before an Ashes series or any series, any any foreign media, be it English media, be it Australian media, turning to an Indian cricketer for his perspective? It doesn't happen. But here, I mean, we go to them, and it consumes column inches, and that's how it is. And if I may add about Vicky Ponting, I mean, as you very rightly said, that particular moment it felt like Gautam lost a little bit of composure. I'm not going into what is right or what is wrong, but Gautam is entitled to his opinion. Maybe if it were Rahul Dravid, he would have handled it differently. He wouldn't have been so direct. He would have said, I mean, Ricky is entitled to his opinion, stuff like that. But Gautam, being more aggressive in nature, I mean, he decided to take the bull by the horn. So that's it.
रोहित जुगलान सेम सवाल। अगर आज आईपीएल हम देख लें या बीबीएल देख लें, भारत वर्ल्ड चैंपियन है T20 फॉर्मेट में। हमारा तो एक भी कोच ऑस्ट्रेलिया में नौकरी नहीं मिलता है उसको। हमारा एक भी फील्ड हेड कोच नहीं है, कोई भी कोच नहीं है। अगर हम आईपीएल देख लें, अगर परफॉर्मेंस यार्डस्टिक है तो रिकी पॉन्टिंग का तो कोई सक्सेस नहीं है। लास्ट 7 साल में दिल्ली कैपिटल्स ने उनको हटा दिया गया, पंजाब ने उनका पूरा टीम का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दे दिया है। ये प्रॉब्लम क्या है हमारे, ये हम लोगों में ये इशू क्या है? हम लोग रिकी पॉन्टिंग को इंडिया में हेडलाइन बना देते हैं जब वो विराट कोहली या रोहित शर्मा के बारे में बात करते हैं। हमारा कोई क्रिकेटर को तो इतना दर्जा ऑस्ट्रेलिया में नहीं दिया जाता है। और वो सारे सवाल हेड कोच से पूछा जाता है इन अ प्री डिपार्चर प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस। हम क्यों सुने रिकी पॉन्टिंग का बात? वो जो बोले थे कि गौतम गंभीर ने, वो सही बोले। रिकी पॉन्टिंग हमारे क्रिकेट के बारे में बात करने वाले होते कौन है? ऑस्ट्रेलियन क्रिकेट के बारे में बात करें। रोहित जुगलान, रेडी यू स्टैंड ऑन दिस?
अब आई थिंक बहुत ही ब्लर सी लाइन है बोला था इस पे। मैं ये कहूंगा कि रिकी पॉन्टिंग कह सकते हैं हमारी क्रिकेट के बारे में, वो उनका राइट है। बट गौतम का ये कहना बिल्कुल सही था, गौतम का ये कहना बिल्कुल सही था कि इसको इतनी इंपॉर्टेंस क्यों देनी है, उसको उतनी इंपॉर्टेंस देने की वजह क्या है, वो मेजर चीज थी। अब जो उनके जवाब से मैं समझ पाया, वो मैं ये समझ पाया, वो ये नहीं, वो कहीं भी ये नहीं कह रहे कि उनका उनका अगर आप सही मायनों में जवाब का मतलब समझो तो वो ये नहीं कहना चाहते कि रिकी पॉन्टिंग कौन होते हैं बोलने वाले इंडियन क्रिकेट के बारे में। वो दरअसल ये कह रहे हैं कि हम इतनी तवज्जो क्यों दें, व्हाई टू गिव सो मच इंपॉर्टेंस की व्हाट इज रिकी पॉन्टिंग सेइंग। छोड़ दो ना, उसने बोल दिया, हो गया। आप देखो, ये भी तो देखो कि वो बोल किन किन के बारे में रहा है। ऑब्वियसली जो पॉन्टिंग ने कहा था उनकी बात में मेरिट है। पॉन्टिंग ने जो कहा था वो ऐसा नहीं है कि उसने फिजूल बोल दिया। और गौतम भी जब ब्रॉडकास्टर्स के साथ थे, गौतम से भी पूछा जाता था तो गौतम भी बोलते थे। इट्स नॉट अबाउट दैट कि ये नहीं बोलता, वो नहीं बोलता। किसी भी क्रिकेटर से जब ये सवाल पूछे जाते हैं तो वो इन चीजों के बारे में जवाब देते हैं। अगर हमारे देश में भी आज सचिन तेंदुलकर से पूछा जाएगा कि आप मानस लबुशेन और स्टीव स्मिथ के बारे में क्या कहोगे, तो वो जरूर बोलेंगे, कुछ ना कुछ जरूर बोलेंगे। और मानस लबुशेन को भी जब एलन बॉर्डर मेडल मिला था तो उसने भी बोला था कि सचिन तेंदुलकर ने जब मेरे बारे में लिखा उस जोफ्रा आर्चर वाले स्पेल के बारे में तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा। तो वो वहां हेडलाइन बनी। तो अल्टीमेटली इट्स ऑल अबाउट कि किसको कितनी वैल्यू देनी है, वो हमें डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा। जैसा शामिक दा ने कहा कि नेथन ब्रेकन, ब्रैड विलियम्स टाइप कोई भी खिलाड़ी कुछ भी बोल देगा, जो आज शायद फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग में अपना करियर बना रहा है, नेथन ब्रेकन, वो शख्स भी अगर कुछ बोल देगा तो हम उसे फ्रंट पेज पे हेडलाइन दे देंगे कि नेथन ब्रेकन
तो
सेज
ये क्यों है?
इंडियन बॉलिंग कमजोर है।
ये क्यों है शुभान? ये क्यों है? नेथन ब्रैकन बोल दिया, एक्स बोल दिया, वाई बोल दिया, हमने उसको a lot of questions on Sanjay Manjrekar. We are coming to Sanjay Manjrekar very shortly. We will address the Sanjay Manjrekar issue, and I will tell you a story about Sanjay Manjrekar, which I am not going to say. It is Sachin's story. It's part of playing it my way, but I'll tell you today in some detail. But Shubhain, ये क्यों है? Why is it that somebody from wherever says, and we put it as a banner headline in our papers? We ask our coaches, I mean, why? What is this? And this is a deeper question, that if I take it to the IPL, why is it that are we not good enough? That Indian people don't get jobs elsewhere, but whether it's Australia, whether it's some other country, everybody gets a job in India, and this becomes a money-making cow for everybody else. Where do you stand on this, Shubhan?
I think the Indians have also started to get jobs in other franchisee leagues. To be honest, in South Africa and in UAE, slowly I think they have started to get jobs in cricket coaching and other roles. But overall, I think it's mainly due to the emergence of
T20 types.
uh, uh,
But very,
uh,
if I
uh,
compare,
very
it's still
very
very
less,
less.
very less. But if we talk about this former players making headlines, I think this is due to the emergence of digital media platforms and digital media portals. Because, to be honest, I think I won't blame the writers who write, because they are also under immense pressure to churn out 10, 15 articles, whatever the requirement of that particular website is. So they will have to. Acha, Nathan Bracken, former Aussie, acha, he has said, say, let's complete my quota of this, and to be honest, most of the digital portals, they don't have proper checks in their place. Their editors are they just want numbers. They just want the quotas to be completed. They just want the website to get hits, and that is why you see many sort of clickbait headlines. I don't think if a former player says, okay, Virat Kohli has not has only 2 centuries in 5 years, he will write a headline that former Aussie. He won't take the name because Nathan Bracken or a Brad Adden don't have that kind of pull. So he will write former World Cup winning member, former World Cup Australian World Cup winning member takes a huge dig at Virat Kohli. So that and they will have a photo of Virat Kohli with big eyes or sad face, so that people, when they look at that banner, they will automatically click, and that will garner some clicks on their website. So I think that is how the model is, if I have to explain it properly. But in terms of Ricky Ponting and him saying, or it being asked in that press conference, I think as Rohit also said, it had merit. It was published in ICC review, like Ponting said in an episode of ICC review, where they generally talk about the most iconic or the most important recently concluded Test series. So that is where the question was asked to Ponting. It was not Ponting who came up and just tweeted or just wrote a column in a newspaper. It was in an ICC review, ICC platform. That is why I think it gained such relevance and such importance. Otherwise, I think Ponting, and of course, he's a former. To be honest, Ponting is a big name, so he has that merit to make a space in a small newspaper column. Him being a very successful former Aussie captain.
I have not
If
seen
Saurav
RCR.
Ganguly, for example, Saurav Ganguly says
Saurav
anything,
Ganguly has never made a headline in an Australian newspaper, or will not.
okay.
Tendulkar doesn't make a headline. You go and
Plus,
ask
I
Mr.
don't think
Gavaskar.
Ponting has made headlines in newspaper. It's just the digital portals who have promoted or
No,
kind
I
of
think in
made it
newspapers
a
also.
viral topic.
In newspapers also. And I had a chat with
Hmm.
Mr. Gavaskar on this in detail at one point, and this was a question that he's asked multiple times, that how many times have my columns been picked up? I write a regular column. How many times have my columns been picked up in Australian or English newspapers? Do you think I don't know how to write, or do I not make any sense? Or why is it that Australian players have to be given banner headlines or whatever headlines in India? And why is it that our players are not? Okay, so there, this is the let me I'll get back to this, but moving on to the second question, Shomik, yes, quickly before I ask Devashish on the other major question that we are asking.
You know what is even more unfortunate? If by any chance India badly falter in the series and Rohit or I mean Virat fails, this Ponting, this Ponting assessment would be used by a section of the Indian media, by a large section of the keyboard warriors on Twitter to troll Gautam Gambhir. That is even more unfortunate.
And but Gautam Gambhir rightly says, I mean, social media is toilet paper, so that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. Social media is toilet paper. That's what it is. Devashish said that's where there should be differentiation between journalists and social media, Facebook revolutionaries or Twitter revolutionaries. Devashish said, coming to Sanjay Manjrekar and this comment about Gautam Gambhir, as far as I am concerned, you can say, and this is my position. You guys can differ. I thought Gautam Gambhir was fairly okay in the press conference. I did not have any problem with Gautam Gambhir. I have had, this is the tweet, just watch Gambhir in the press conference. Maybe wise for BCCI to keep him away from such duties. Let him work behind the scenes. He does not have the right demeanor, nor the words when interacting with them. Rohit and Agarkar, much better guys to front up for the media. Uh, 2 points here, Devashish. One, Gautam Gambhir doesn't have words. Gautam Gambhir has been a distinguished commentator for broadcasters that Sanjay Manjrekar has also worked for and has had a fairly distinguished broadcasting career. Was in demand. We have heard him in multiple series. So it's not as if he doesn't know how to speak. Number two, I have heard fairly number of press conferences as far as Rohit Sharma is concerned. Rohit Sharma has a bit of a humor. Also, Ajit Agarkar was pretty bland. I did not find Gautam Gambhir any less, in kind of, how do I say, poor, worse, bad, something like that at all. So where is this dig coming from? Is it Mumbai versus Delhi? Is it the Mumbai lobby? Is it what, according to you, Devashish Sen? Why is this tweet even coming? Before I move on to my Sanjay Manjrekar story and go to Bharat Ramraj, Devashish Sen.
To be frank, I didn't find anything unobjectionable what Gambhir has said in the press conference. He was asked a question about Ricky Ponting and he answered it. So what's wrong in that? Means obviously, and who is Ricky Ponting to speak about Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma? Let him be concerned about his own team. So and when you are at the helm of Indian cricket team as the head coach, he has rightly said so. Means he has no. Uh, and here comes taking a cue to the where the debate started. Means why would the journalist ask? Because the journalist asked and Gambhir only replied to his comments that Ricky Ponting and no, Gambhir did not come out in open and went on to say that he has reservations about Ricky Ponting. So and it's clearly and Sanjay Manjrekar has always made loose comments and he should be and one that comes to my mind instantly is that tweet about Ravindra Jadeja. So let's leave it at that. Means we know what Ravindra Jadeja has tweeted about Sanjay Manjrekar few years back on the same social media platform Twitter. So And I didn't find anything unobjectionable what Gambhir has said in the press conference when he was asked about Ricky Ponting. What do you think?
Bharat Ramraj, any problem with Gautam Gambhir that
See,
merited this tweet?
I guess it's a typical press conference. I don't think what exactly wrong is said, other than the fact that, yeah, he might have got lost a little bit of his cool when that question was asked in relation to Ricky Ponting. But it was a typical press conference. Sanjay Manjrekar, as Devashish already has said, he has made some curious tweets on the text platform, right down from the time he talked about Sania Mirza being number one only in doubles, right down to Ravindra Jadeja, and then this and many more tweets where Sanjay Manjrekar has made some kind of curious tweets and got trolled as well. So yeah, I didn't find anything objectionable in that press conference. It seemed like a typical quintessential press conference that you would basically get where you just
Rohit
write
Juglan, Sanjay Manjrekar is not one of those people who needs some 10 likes or 20 likes. He's an established voice who has some credibility. Why would he do this? I mean, why do you think he would tweet something like this? Because he doesn't need this kind of publicity. I mean, does he like getting trolled? This gives him some kind of a high, a kind of a perverse pleasure. What is it? I'm trying to understand. ये वो क्यों करते हैं? I mean, उनको तो ये likes, numbers, ये सब चाहिए भी नहीं होना चाहिए. रोहित जुगलान.
क्या पता बुरिया था, क्या पता चाहिए हो, क्या पता चाहिए हो, क्या पता उन्हें लग रहा हो कि वो जो मेन स्ट्रीम है उससे अलग जा रहे हैं. क्योंकि जो भरत ने ट्वीट्स का जिक्र किया उसमें आप एक ट्वीट और जोड़ दो. 2011-12 में उन्होंने विराट कोहली के लिए लिखा था कि ही डजंट हैव द टेक्निक. ऑस्ट्रेलिया में खेलने जाने से पहले उन्होंने लिखा था कि वीवीएस लक्ष्मण को कंपेयर करते हुए उन्होंने लिखा था, और उन्होंने विराट कोहली द रेड बॉल क्रिकेटर की के ऊपर उनके करियर पर बहुत ज्यादा सवाल उठा दिए थे. बट वो दिन है और आज का दिन है, आई थिंक वो हमेशा पछताते ही होंगे कि वो ट्वीट उन्होंने क्यों लिखा. तो मुझे ये चीज बिल्कुल भी नहीं लगती कि संजय मांजरेकर, यस, और मुझे ये हैरानी तब ज्यादा होती है, मैंने उनकी ऑटोबायोग्राफी पढ़ी है इम्परफेक्ट, उसमें उन्होंने अपने बारे में जो आलोचना की है, सेल्फ जो उन्होंने क्रिटिसिज्म किया है, पता नहीं उसको आप मतलब इतना मैंने सेल्फ क्रिटिसाइज करते हुए किसी क्रिकेटर को कहीं ना कहीं, कोई भी आप ऑटोबायोग्राफी पढ़ो उसमें क्रिकेटर अपने अच्छे पक्ष को ज्यादा रखता है और क्रिटिसिज्म अपना कम करता है. बट संजय मांजरेकर ने अपनी किताब में अपना क्रिटिसिज्म खुलकर किया हुआ है. उसके बावजूद भी अगर कोई हेड कोच आकर अगर खुलकर बोल रहा है प्रेस के सामने, तो आपको क्या पसंद नहीं आ रहा है कि कोई सीधे जो जवाब आपको चाहिए? मेरे को नहीं चाहिए भाई, मेरे को राहुल द्रविड़ वाले, मेरे बहुत अटमोस्ट रिस्पेक्ट है राहुल द्रविड़ द क्रिकेटर की, बट राहुल द्रविड़ द पर्सन इन प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस, सॉरी, मतलब जो चीज है, जो चीज गिवन है, रविंद्र जडेजा एशिया कप 2022 वी ऑल न्यू इंजरी हो चुकी है, बट दैट राहुल द्रविड़ उस समय पे कह रहे हैं नहीं ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. ये डिप्लोमेटिक आंसर्स नहीं चाहिए. आपको कान घुमाकर नहीं पकड़ना है, पकड़ना है सीधा पकड़ो. क्या दिक्कत है? विराट कोहली, रवि शास्त्री में आपको क्या दिक्कत लगती थी? सीधा बोलते थे जो बोलते थे. आज अगर गौतम गंभीर सीधा बोल रहा है कि पॉन्टिंग को क्या लेना देना है, या फिर रोहित और मेरा रिलेशन बहुत अच्छा है, या उस ड्रेसिंग रूम में कुछ टफ गाइज हैं, इससे आपको क्या दिक्कत है? मतलब क्या परेशानी हो गई? कौन सी ऐसी बात बोलती जो क्रिटिकल हो जाएगी?
हम लोग यही सवाल उठा रहे हैं, शोभित चक्रवर्ती, बिफोर आई गो टू शुभान, दैट ऑल ऑफ अस आर काइंड ऑफ perplexed that what is the problem that if we decode that press conference, and by the way, I have read imperfect multiple times, I even reviewed it. If you see the way he talks about his own father, the kind of critical language which he talks about now, you can say that, oh, you know what, I wanted to follow the open model and become an Andre Agassi, a kind of autobiography where I'll be completely open. But is that the was he kind of, again, the question that I'm asking, are you trying to please the pseudo liberal intellectual world where, look how I'm an open book, the pseudo liberal intellectual world which will say, look at Sanjay Manjrekar, he's created this kind of self-inflicted wound, he's such an open book, etc. Is that what Sanjay Manjrekar wants, Shomik Chakraborty? Because I'm getting to the story. I will ask you and Shubhain too, but did you find anything objectionable that resulted in Sanjay tweeting what he did?
Absolutely not. I mean, there is nothing, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't find anything objectionable. And as far as imperfect, I mean, to give credit where credit is due, imperfect, I thoroughly enjoyed such candor. I mean, basically such candor is missing in the majority of autobiographies when an Indian celebrity or an Indian star writes it. But I personally congratulated Sanjay about that also. But as far as this is concerned, this tweet is going back to that, I think I might be wrong, but this is that old Bombay versus Delhi lobby. I can tell you one personal experience. Even when Gautam's name was doing the rounds and he was not appointed, even I was talking to one Bombay cricket old hand. He was an MCA functionary some years back, and he sort of dismissed Gambhir. Wo kya karega? What coaching experience does he have? Stuff like that. So I think this could lead. I mean, there is a trickle down effect of the old Bombay versus Delhi lobby. But maybe I am wrong. Sanjay Manjrekar is like that, and he I don't know, as you said, he doesn't need clicks on social media. He's an established voice, but I don't know why he put out the tweet. I think it was unbecoming of a former India cricketer.
Shubhan Chakraborty, Indian team is leaving for Australia for a very important series. The context is India has just lost a 0-3 test match series to New Zealand. So, if anything, the situation in Indian cricket is not really the greatest. There is a lot of negativity around. In such a situation, the pre-departure press conference is happening when a team is going to play an all-important series. In such a context, why would you want to tweet this? Are you bitter? Are you not in a proper frame of mind? Do you have a responsibility as a former cricketer? Because, by the way, you've also been a broadcaster and you've commentated. I'm sure you've worked with Gautam Gambhir in one of the broadcasters that telecast Indian cricket, whether it's Star, whether it's Jio, whether it's Sony, where Gautam used to commentate as well. What merits this kind of a tweet? I mean, can you try and decode, or did you try to figure out? Because I saw you quote tweet that. Did you try to kind of think what could have prompted Sanjay Manjrekar to do this?
That is what was baffling, Boryada. I think there was no such major point where Gambhir said something out of the line. He was very spot on with whatever he was saying. When I asked him about social media, he also gave a very straightforward reply. I think in Pune that social media does not matter one bit. So that was a straightforward reply. And when he was asked about Ricky Ponting today, he said, "How does Ricky Ponting matter in Indian cricket or to my team?" He was very upfront. He protected his players there. He protected both Rohit and Virat there. So there's no harm in a head coach doing that. So I think yes, that question was asked, but I think that should be it about Sanjay Manjrekar tweet. He's getting trolled on social media, on Twitter, around this. So it proves what his tweet actually meant. And he mentioned Rohit and Agarkar should have been in that press conference. I think Rohit in the last 3-4 press conference has I think misstepped or has just jumped the gun a couple of times by saying 12 साल में तो एक आध बार होता रहता है. That is one quote which was taken, which blew out completely on social media. People were trolling him. People are still trolling him that 12 साल में तो एक आध बार होता रहता है. So I think Gambhir in that manner handled it very professionally, very spot on, and I think there was nothing out of the line in the press conference. Just that I don't know whether it's Delhi Bombay lobby where there's any personal disliking, whether he's just being a hipster with a hipster opinion and just giving an out of the box thought so that people start reacting to it, and I think that's what the social media culture is all about. If I say sky is blue, no one will reply. No one will interact with my tweet. If I say sky is red, pink, purple, all sorts of color, people will say, "Arey dekho pagal ho gaya," but they will come and interact with my tweet. That is how it is in today's world, unfortunately. And I think he tried to provoke a few people and garner reaction from that.
If that is the case, that it was sort of trying to garner reactions, it's very flippant and very sad. That's what I will say. I'll tell you a Sanjay Manjrekar story. 2004, that declaration happened, and we've by the way, I'm not going to go into the details which we've not written in the autobiography, because I've not spoken to Sachin on this, and I'm putting that on record. So I will not say after a point what we've not written. So that is Sachin's prerogative. But what we have written, and I can disclose this, and what we had discussed. So after that 194 declaration, which obviously resulted in a lot of heartburn, 2004 Pakistan. After that 194 declaration by Rahul Dravid, clearly there was a lot of heartburn between Tendulkar and Dravid. Sanjay Manjrekar went to Sachin's room that evening. So he went to Sachin's room. Sachin was disappointed. He was upset, so much so that he had not even spoken. He had come back to the bus at the end of the day's play, put his headphones on, and then went straight to the gym after reaching the hotel to expend energy. He was not in a good frame of mind at all. उनका दिमाग एकदम ठीक नहीं था. In the evening, Sanjay Manjrekar went to Sachin's room and went and told him that, oh, you know what? This is a great declaration. So Sachin said, what? He said, this is a great declaration because for the first time I've seen a captain become selfless. Sachin actually told him that, and again, I'm trying to be as exact, that do you make these comments because you want to be sensationalist? Or do you make these comments without knowing anything? Why do you make these comments? Because do you really know what happened in our dressing room, what was conveyed? You don't know. You were not part of that dressing room. So you clearly don't have an idea what I was told when I was batting and what instructions had come. You don't know. आपको पता नहीं है. So why when you are making this comment that it was a great declaration and team and all this, do you really want to know about it? Or do you make a comment just as Shubhan said to kind of be sensationalist or whatever it is? What is the reason? And politely ask Sanjay to leave. That's exactly what transpired in that evening in Sachin's room. That you've come to my room and coming here, you know I'm upset. You know you don't have an idea as to what really transpired. And you are coming and telling me it was a great declaration. I really don't get this. And he was asked to leave. So this is illustrative, and we've written about it. So I'm not making a word up here. This is illustrative of the kind of reaction that Sanjay Manjrekar kind of tries to evoke from people. If he can rile up Sachin Tendulkar, one of the calmest people in the world, and that is what Sachin told him, कि आपको तो पता भी नहीं है, फिर भी आप ऐसे बात करते हो, so unless you are sensationalist, आप ऐसे बात करोगे नहीं. This is a typical. The moment I saw that tweet, my thought went back to that conversation with Tendulkar and what transpired with Sanjay. And then the tweet that Rohit said, the tweet that Devashish said about Jadeja, the tweet about Sania, and multiple other tweets. So it kind of, Sanjay Manjrekar was a good enough player who maybe not have fulfilled his potential. But these kind of tweets make very little sense according to me. It kind of shows a lot of bitterness. That's where we will let the Sanjay Manjrekar thing be. Coming to the Rohit Sharma issue. Rohit, clearly the Rohit Sharma issue, we broke the story. Shomik, yourself, me, Shubha, and all of us were chatting yesterday. He's not gone. He's not playing Perth. That is now pretty certain. Not pretty certain, fully certain. Where do we stand on this? I mean, KL and Ishwaran multiple times. Sanjay mentioned we have KL and Ishwaran. Do we really have someone to fulfill for Rohit? And what is the latest on the Rohit Sharma front that you've heard? You tweeted yesterday about 2 test matches. We possible 2 test matches. We are not saying that there is a likelihood that he misses the first and the second. What is the update that you have on Rohit Sharma, Rohit Juglan?
Yes, Bureda, the same thing which you just said. First, it was about I was from the very first day I was very sure from when this news broke out that there is a possibility that Rohit won't travel. In between, I saw a few journalists tweeted about that. No, he's going, and I was back to my sources. I was asking them that because those were big names. The people who are tweeting are credible name. And that's why I just went back to my source. But what I came to know that
one sec, Rohit. There is a difference between big and credible. In India, anyone can become big. Credible, no. Anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So what I've been told is no, he's not going. Till then, I was only aware of that one test match, that Rohit could miss one test match, and there is something with his travel. There's something with his travel. the BCCI is very much ready. If there's any communication at the very last hour also, the BCCI is very much ready to send him with either with the first batch, the second batch. Now, if Bumrah is leaving at the evening, what I came to know that Bumrah is leaving in the evening, so there's a third batch also. Virat already arrived, so a fourth batch, and then Rishabh will join somewhere in between. So there are 5-6 batches. If you broke it down, it will be a 5-6 batches thing. So I think there were all preparations going on. That if Rohit said yes, I'm going, then they were prepared. But last evening that what I came to know is he could miss. He could miss the second test also. uh, the emergency is the same, the family emergency, or you can say the why he's leaving the first test also. That's the only reason. There's no other reason that why is he missing the second game, or if he misses the second one, then that's the only reason why he's missing the second game. We are hopeful that we will see him soon at Perth or somewhere down the line in Adelaide. That's the latest which I'm having right now. That Rohit could be there. After that second test, somewhere around that Adelaide test.
Shubhan, India is going, and let's take this before I go to Shomik. So Gautam Gambhir multiple times said that the 10 days that you have in Australia is essential to get used to the conditions. While he did not say anything definitive on Rohit, the fact is because Rohit is not going, if he lands up in Australia a couple of days ahead of the test match, if things get sorted or whatever it is, you don't play someone without days practice. This is not the COVID time. I mean, you don't all of a sudden go to Australia without a day's practice or 1 day's practice, get on to playing in Perth. That's not possible, because if then you don't score, all hell will break loose that how come this happened. So if you see Rohit Sharma in Adelaide, at least you will expect him to go soon after the Perth test, because he has to play that 2-day ping ball warm-up game against the Prime Minister's 11. It is not easy to get accustomed with the ping ball. India doesn't play ping ball too much. So Rohit Sharma will have to have those 9 days of practice with the ping ball if he does play the Adelaide test match. Shubha.
Absolutely, Boria. Even if not that warm-up match, he must have at least 3-4 days of nets with the pink ball just to get accustomed to the bounce and the natural mind hand-eye coordination required in Australia. The patience with the pink ball swinging around, doing all its shots. I think he would need at least 3-4 days of intense practice, not just casual nets. And even if he misses the Prime Minister 11 match, that in that case I'm saying, but it would be very tricky for Rohit. It won't be easy. Yes, if he misses Perth and Adelaide, then from Brisbane onwards, batting will become slightly easier. But in Perth and Adelaide, with the pink ball, especially in Adelaide, I think it's going to be extremely difficult for Rohit if he comes in 3-4 days or 2 days before the test match. See, if a player says, if the captain of the team says, I'm ready, I'm going to play, I don't need much practice, it will be his call. And if the head coach and the team management says, okay, I'm giving you a green signal, that would be on the basis of what the captain is feeling. And if Rohit Sharma is available to pick, then I think it would. There are very few teams in the entire world who would say a no to Rohit Sharma, regardless of his form or preparation. But I think yes, as you said, if he plays after joining the match, say for a couple of days before the test, without that much of practice or that much of nets under his belt, and if he fails, then I think, as you said, all hell will break loose. So it's a very tricky phase for Rohit Sharma to just get acclimatized to the condition whenever he reaches. As I said, from Brisbane onwards, batting will sort of get easier at least than Perth or Adelaide. But it will not be easy for Rohit just to go there and in between a series land in and just mold in into that Indian dressing room, especially to Australian conditions. So let's see what happens, Boria.
Varun Saxena, because Indian media does not have the balls to question our cricketers, so they use statements from former players to ask questions they want to ask. We are questioning directly. We've always done that. Shomik Chakraborty, India failed in that 3-test series. First test was a mistake by the management, a horrendous mistake. Second test pitches, multiple mistakes there. Multiple mistakes have been made, and Shubhayan was covering that tour. Before that, you and Rohit were covering that tour. Direct questions have been asked, and direct questions will be asked. Where is this question of not having the balls, for the lack of a better word? I'm using it because you've used the term on a show. Shomit Chakraborty, where do you stand? We don't need to stand on someone else's shoulders to fire questions. The problem with us is we will demonize on or eulogize. Neither is necessary to be constructively critical. Shomit Chakraborty.
Absolutely, and you wrote a fantastic piece also on this a couple of days ago. Very, very. I mean, you put things in perspective, and I think our readers should read that story. I mean, it's either black or white, never gray. That is the only problem. It's either black or white. Either you are a demigod or you are a demon, and there is nothing in between. See, at the end of the day, they have lost 3 games of cricket. They haven't committed a crime. I mean, obviously, it was unexpected that India would lose a home series against New Zealand and they would suffer a home whitewash. But strange things happen in sport, and that's the beauty of sport. And I don't think, I mean, India don't have the ability to bounce back from here. This is water under the bridge, the New Zealand series. They will start afresh for the Australia series. And this team has enough quality. And I was today listening to a Michael Hussey interview on Fox Sport, and he was very right when Michael Hussey said that it would be the silliest thing to write this Indian team off. Our keyboard warriors, as you said, social media is toilet paper, and absolutely right. I mean, those who haven't turned up for even a Sunday League game, they are writing of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and others, which is laughable. But that's the nature of the beast. We have to ignore that. I still believe this team has enough pride to turn things around.
There was a same question for you. I won't name the person, but somebody who is very much part of the fraternity, and I will read out the comment. Now you take this. Uh, we are our biggest enemies. We don't need outsiders. Is this true according to you?
To some extent, yes. Absolutely, I agree. Means obviously, and if someone to take our fraternity, I'll just take the example of our fraternity. If someone does well, automatically in the same organization, someone tries to pull him down. So that, and it has always been the case with Indian media. I mean, so and now you take the example of the in cricketers. Means obviously, if someone does well, a certain section of say South Zone or West Zone, it was more relevant in the 80s. But I think still it does exist, because if someone does well, then automatically a particular XYZ cricketer from a particular region will come in support of his Jones cricketer, and so this has already been always, and it will never go away in Indian cricket. This will exist, and it has existed in all spheres, be it media, be it cricket, be it any sports. And so we are our biggest enemy. So I somewhat and support what the comment has come.
You can check your phone, Shubha and Shomik and Devashish. Bharat, you take the same question. Are we our biggest enemies?
Yeah, I guess so. As you said, it's not just about cricket. We can talk about other spheres as well. I think cricket is a microcosm of how we actually behave in this particular aspect. Even in journalism field, where I have seen myself seen when someone does well, it seems like rest of them are maybe a little jealous, or they just want to bring that particular person down. Myself got that kind of what can you say, backlash from a few others. Yeah, so it's just a manifestation of it. And here too, we are seeing the same in cricket, that they always take into consideration maybe some foreign cricketer. It needn't be Ricky Ponting. I guess even some maybe Peter Forrest or Brad Williams say something about Indian cricket, they will still take that into the equation and try to ridicule an Indian cricketer. So that is always there, not just with related to in cricket. If you look at history as well, India's history, it is very much there in all spheres of life, I guess, with Indian subcontinent.
There's one guy who's continuously commented, Dinesh. Let me take one of his comments. At Shomodeep, I think he's responding to someone. Accept it or you can die. I don't know why anyone needs to die on a show. Ganguly has never won anything in his life, and Bengalis portrayed him like semi-god. You mean demigod or demigod? You said semi-god. That's okay. Now, my uncle won in Pakistan in 2003-4. My uncle's name is not Saurav Ganguly, by the way. Sadly, that NatWest series that India won in 2002 was won by my grandfather. So when you make comments on social media, I would just request you to, for a change, be a little more. How do I say? I mean, why would you want to show yourself off as jerks? That's the only thing, right? And then you said somewhere that I would love it if a foreigner praises Saurav Ganguly. Ask questions for sure, but where does this toxicity come from? I mean, my problem with social media is exactly this kind of toxicity. uh, Mrityunjay Mishra, one match before KL brilliant 60. Again, from that one match before, we have 100 plus run in a match. Again, one match before 100 in Africa. Perception is he's not scoring. Rohit Juglar, take that. KL Rahul.
Totally agree. I think you know, beat South Africa, beat England, beat in India. Of course, people oftenly said that he is averaging 34 somewhere around near to that thing. But no one discusses that when is the last time when you saw KL Rahul playing a good like what I remember this very very clearly in the interview of Sanju Samson after that 100 he scored versus South Africa. He that in my whole career, or 10 years whole career, first time a captain come up to me, Dulip Trophy, Surya Kumar Yadav came up to him, and in Anantpur he said that Sanju Chetta, you will be having all these 8 games, 7 games, and you will open for me. Now Sanju in a post match interview with the broadcasters, he said that this is the first time when a captain came up to me and said you'll have this much amount of matches. When is the last time when KL Rahul has played some 15 to 20 or 25 innings in exact that position? Not five, not one, not three. And again, when we are setting up for this Border Gavaskar Trophy, we are still discussing whether KL Rahul be your number 6, whether KL Rahul be your number 5, or where KL Rahul be your number 1 or number 2. So I think when we talk about averages, we have to see that in foreign conditions where he opened, there are not many openers, especially in India, who are averaging or scoring centuries. Like in South Africa, we remember Wasim Jaffer is the only one, then KL Rahul, and he has 2 centuries opening up with that. Then England series, in last couple or 3 years, I think he has shown some good cricket. What Gautam told today is exactly correct. That give me the name of another country and tell me that who are the players who can bat at the top of the order, and then 5 6 and then in the middle order also, and scoring those runs, the hundreds, and winning matches for their country. So I think Gautam was absolutely right there.
Spot on. Sharat Chandra, there's a question, Boryada. Shomik, you can take this, Shubha, and then I will take one final round of questions to the other guests as well. When England or Australia come to India, all give chances of winning 1-2 tests, saying X person will be main. But when we go overseas, predictions we are weird. Why? Why are all underestimating us? Shomik, take that. But before Shomik takes
Uh,
that, one point, and this is something that I will say it with, how do I say it? I say it every day. We are one platform. We are not dependent on social media likes or numbers. Okay. We don't want subscribers who want to come and abuse. There are people in the digital domain who want numbers at any cost. We are not one of those platforms. So the moment you abuse, and my producer just messaged me a couple of snapshots, the moment you abuse, we'll throw you out because we don't need you. Now, you might call us pompous. Fair enough. We are. All six of us here are here because we have achieved something to get here. You haven't. You have come to our show to enjoy the show. Enjoy the show, ask your question, we will answer. If you abuse any of my colleagues, anyone or me, anyone, trust me, it will take us a second to throw you out. Because in my house, if an intruder comes who is not warranted, I kick him out. That's how I am, like it or not. And that's exactly what I will do as far as my platform is concerned. We don't need you, subscribers, etc. We have never required. So let us make this point very clearly. Abuse of any form against any of my colleagues, this one was directed against Rohit, is not tolerated. Rohit is a brother. If it's directed against me or Shomik or Bharat or Shubhan or Devashish, I will be the first one to stand up and say that. So don't abuse. Do not abuse. We are not here to be abused by anyone. Shomik, take that question.
Absolutely, I'm taking that question, but before that, I apologize for a bit of a lengthy monologue. Thank you, Rohit. You mentioned that lengthy run of games for Sanju, and Saurabh used to do that. When I tell you a story in 2001 in that Australia series, Sarandeep Singh was the selector's choice. Saurabh put his foot down and said, "No, I want Harbhajan Singh." And then he went to Harbhajan and said, "Bhaju, I'll give you at least 6 games. Perform, prove yourself. I am there. Nobody can touch you." He did that to Hemang Badani also. Now coming
And
back to question.
Virendra Sehwag also, when he
No,
said, if I failed at opening the innings, Dada said that I will give you the middle order position again, but I will not send you out of my team.
and I personally know that selection meeting because I covered that selection meeting. Anyway, coming back to this question, see, we Indians, we don't know somehow we are a little enamored by the word overseas. Have you ever seen the British media running down a home Ashes win, or an Australian media running down, or having sort of sniggering at a win at home? They don't do it. A win is a win, be it at home or away. Yes, away wins are more satisfactory, and India have done that. I don't think over the last few years, no team has India's record to match as far as winning in overseas are concerned. So, as it could be a little bit of, I shouldn't use this word, but sometimes a little bit of inferiority complex might creep in. But we are a little bit enamored with the word overseas. That's why such pessimism comes into place, and which is unfortunate.
You're on mute, Boryada.
Yeah. They were the tests are entirely different. The Washi as opener. Devashi said Washington Sundar as opener. No. Devashish?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Mr. Mukherjee, I don't think so. It will happen. KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal looks to be the front runners to open the batting. And for me, the batting order will be more like Yashasvi, KL Rahul, followed by Shubman Virat, and then who else?
Rishabh,
That's number 5.
Rishabh,
Rishabh,
Rishabh.
Rishabh Pant. Thank you, Rishabh Pant. Ravindra Jadeja or Ravindra Jadeja, Dhruv Jurel, then the 3 fast bowlers and Washington Sundar. So that is my 11 for the first test match. And it will be a toss up between Siraj and Prasidh Krishna. Akashdeep and Jasprit Bumrah definitely. So maybe Prasidh Krishna, given the form he has been in against Australia A, so I would go with the Prasidh Krishna, hit the deck bowler. So that is pretty much certain. So I don't think Washington Sundar will open the batting.
Bharat Ramraj, Ishwaran or Rahul?
Oh, definitely KL Rahul. Based on whatever I've seen of Ishwaran, I think I would go with the KL Rahul only. Yeah, I worry about his mindset. Sorry, what happened? I'd worry about his mindset because how he played against the off spinner in that Australia versus India game. He left a straight delivery. There was just a typical off spinner from Corey. He left it and went and touched his pad and went over and took the off stump. There's something. There's a weird dismissal that tells something about KL Rahul's current mindset, which is not great, but I would definitely go with KL Rahul or Ishwaran. One point I want to add about Washington Sundar, if he has to open the batting in Australia, then he has to get used to the conditions first of all, and then he has to used to the red kookaburra ball. So that's a bit different to SC ball. Even KL Rahul, when he first opened against red kookaburra ball, he had said that it took him a little bit of time to get used to facing this red kookaburra ball, as he had faced a lot of SG ball in 2014 or 2013. So if Washington Sundar has to open maybe in the future, then he has to get used to the conditions in Australia, and also, yeah, he has to get used to the red kookaburra ball. It seems around a little more than SG ball upfront.
Okay, so I'll take final round of comments on what is happening with Pakistan, because Rohit and Shubhan and Shomik are all of them tracking that story. But before that, what is this? Rishabh Roy, Boria sir, who are going to Australia from Rev Sports to cover BGT. You told during that conversation with Ogni that Rev Sports will cover BGT in a grand way. Can you give us some hint about that? Of course, we can. So, for example, and we can tell you that we will be the single biggest media contingent that will go from India, apart from maybe the host broadcaster. We will be the single biggest media contingent and by a country mile. So Rohit, Shubhan, and Devashish will all go this week. Shubhan and Rohit and Devashish will leave on Thursday. On Thursday, and they will be in Australia by Friday, which is 15th. Shubhan is leaving over the weekend and will be in Australia by Monday. So all three of them will start reporting from this weekend itself, and then in December, a full lot of others will also go, because according to us, the Border Gavaskar Trophy is the biggest and most important test series, good, bad. In terms of reportage, you have to report from on ground. And our principle always has been to be able to report from on ground. And you know what? I'm digressing a bit because I've done a piece on this. I was told by Shomik, I'm not sort of verifying this, that mainstream newspapers, they have kind of decided not to send people to cover bilateral tours. I don't know this for certain, but I've been told by reliable colleagues. Shubhan and Shomik, both of them said this to me the other day. Now, my point is the sports media profession is shrinking. And that is what takes me to Shomik, I think, has read the piece. That takes me to the American election and Donald Trump. I am not a follower of American politics. It's not as if I mean, like everybody does, I also do. But I am not one who is an expert on American politics. But for me, the biggest thing about the Trump campaign, and this I don't need to be either Trump or Harris, is Trump realized pretty early in his campaign that the mainstream media, quote, was not with him. And he decided to go to the new age media, the digital media, the podcasters, the new age technology media, and mounted an election campaign which went on to win the American election hands down. What does that tell me about Rev Sports? It tells me we are the future. It tells me you don't require a piece in an X newspaper anymore to be known. You don't require a story in a television platform to be known. Tell me one TV channel that has a sports bulletin. It doesn't. You know why? Because the editors who are in key editorial positions in television stations, they don't understand sport, except maybe one or two. Only when a Neeraj Chopra wins a medal in the Olympics, or a Rohit Sharma wins a World Cup, or India wins a World Cup, they become sports journalists overnight. And if a Shubhan is covering a tour, or a Rohit or a Shomik, they will be told, you get this interview for us, and they will be exploited. That has been the tendency of the Indian media. That is why there is no sports bulletin in mainstream television channels anymore. And I see a lesson from the Donald Trump campaign for us. This is a media agnostic world. This is a world where people like us, using technology in a media agnostic world, can become the future. Consumers will consume news on any platform, not necessarily on an X newspaper or a Y TV. And that's where we become relevant. And that gives us the courage to say 7 people, 8 people will go to Australia, or for that matter to England, or for that matter Olympics or Paralympics. I wouldn't be boasting if I say that the country consumed Paralympics on our platform. That is my as we turn 3, I've taken a lot of learnings from the Trump campaign. Closing comments from all my guests. Rohit Juglan, what's happening with Pakistan? Is it bluster? Is it bluster again? We've heard this from PCB multiple times. Oh, हम नहीं खेलेंगे, हम नहीं जाएंगे, इंडिया नहीं आएगा तो हम बॉयकॉट कर देंगे, आईसीसी नहीं खेलेंगे. Is this all bluster or is there any real truth this time round?
बुरेदा, मुझे ये लगता है कि ये दो हिस्सों में हम इसे देख सकते हैं. अगर आप सेंस प्रिवेल करने की बात करते हो, अगर आप लॉजिक की बात करते हो, अगर आप प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड की बात करते हो, तो पाकिस्तान ये कभी भी नहीं कर सकता जो वो करने की सोच रहा है इस वक्त पर. बट आपको भी पता है कि पाकिस्तान ने ये अपने साथ कई बार किया हुआ है कि अपने पाँव पे खुद ही कुल्हाड़ी मारी है, अपने लिए खुद ही उन्होंने जो है वो काम खराब बार बार किया है, एक बार नहीं बार बार किया है. तो जो इंडिया की तरफ से जो रिस्पांस गया था उसको जब पीसीबी ने पाकिस्तान गवर्नमेंट को बढ़ाया, एंड देयर इज नो गवर्नमेंट, एक पैरेलल सिस्टम चलता है जो कि जैसे आईएसआई भी आप कह सकते हो या फिर उनकी आर्मी कह सकते हो. सो द आर्मी चीफ एंड दिस मोहसिन नकवी, द पीसीबी चेयरमैन, इनके बीच में क्लोज बॉन्डिंग है. तो कहीं ना कहीं जो द चीफ ऑफ द आर्मी स्टाफ जो वहां पर है, वो उनका भी यही कहना है, जो मुझे सोर्सेस बता रहे हैं, कि इट्स नॉट अबाउट द पाकिस्तान प्राइम मिनिस्टर. इस पे कहीं मैटर नहीं करता है. पाकिस्तान गवर्नमेंट, स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्ट्री, देयर इज नथिंग. एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्ट्री कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं. अगर आपके आर्मी के हेड ने ये कह दिया कि हमें इंडिया के साथ नहीं खेलना है किसी बाहरी मुल्क में, तो हम नहीं खेलेंगे. अब जैसा मैंने कहा कि अगर इस पे आप सेंस देखो कि क्या और उन्होंने ये भी कहा है कि आपका जो खर्चा है, पीसीबी का जो खर्चा है, वो पाकिस्तान गवर्नमेंट दे देगी. अब इसको अगर आप इकोनॉमी की टर्म्स से देखोगे तो ये अपने पाँव में खुद कुल्हाड़ी मारने वाली बात है. बिकॉज इकोनॉमिकली तो वो ऑलरेडी जो है वो कभी सऊदी अरब के आगे जाते हैं, कभी मैंने बताया कि एफएटीएफ की ग्रे लिस्ट से 2 साल पहले ही वो जो है वापस आए हैं, तो फाइनेंशियल एड मिलनी शुरू हो गई है. सीपेक कॉरिडोर के बारे में सब जानते हैं कि वो कितना बड़ा फेलियर हो चुका है. सो देर आर मल्टीपल थिंग्स जिसकी वजह से पाकिस्तान इस समय पर इकोनॉमिकली उस साउंड पोजीशन में नहीं है जहां पर आप ये कह सको कि 1200-1300 करोड़ उनके लिए कोई मैटर नहीं करता. दिस इज अ बिग अमाउंट. 1200-1300 CR इज अ बिग अमाउंट. और अगर वो ये करते हैं तो फिर उनको ये सारी चीजें चुकानी पड़ेगी. फिर ये नहीं हो पाएगा कि नहीं हम ये भी नहीं देखेंगे और ये भी नहीं देखेंगे, यानी चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी से बैकआउट भी कर लेंगे और फाइनेंस भी हमें आईसीसी की तरफ से चाहिए. अब कोर्ट पे जाने की जहां तक बात है, कोर्ट ऑफ आर्बिट्रेशन में जाने की बात है, या फिर आईसीजे, जहां पर भी वो जाना चाहते हैं, उसमें तो आईसीसी का रूल सीधे आड़े आएगा, जो विनेश फोगाट के केस में भी हुआ था कि रूल बुक बाय द आईसीसी लॉज ये कहती है कि आप अगर किसी कंट्री की गवर्नमेंट ने ये कह दिया है, व्हाट हैपेंड इन 1996 ऑस्ट्रेलिया श्रीलंका, या व्हाट हैपेंड इन 2003 जिम्बाब्वे, इंग्लैंड जिम्बाब्वे, ऑस्ट्रेलिया अफगानिस्तान, ये सारी चीजें आपको बताती हैं कि अगर इस पे एक लीगल रास्ता लिया जाता है तो पाकिस्तान को कोई फायदा नहीं है. बट स्टिल दे आर कंसीडरिंग कि हम किस तरीके से इंडिया को जो है वो मजबूर कर सके, थोड़ा सा प्रेशर कर सके. सो आई थिंक दिस इज ऑल अ फाइट ऑफ परसेप्शन फॉर देम कि अपनी आवाम के बीच अपनी इज्जत बचानी है. दैट्स इट.
Yeah, that is the point. The last sentence. Shomik, is this completely posturing?
As of now, yes, it is completely posturing. See, the best they can do is to take this case before the ICC's Disputes Resolution Committee, and which I think they will do. They cannot back out from the Champions Trophy because they need the ICC revenue. They cannot say no to the ICC revenue. And they also know full well that without India, Champions Trophy doesn't exist. ICC events don't exist. So they will, they will do the posturing. They will take the matter before the ICC's Disputes Resolution Committee, where in all likelihood they will lose. Like in the bilateral series also, in the bilateral issues also, they took the matter before the ICC Dispute Resolutions Committee and lost. Today, a story is doing the rounds in Pakistan that the PCB has communicated to the Pakistan government about this India not coming to for the Champions Trophy, and in turn, the Pakistan government has told PCB that never accept a hybrid model. Once again, this is posturing. There is a lot of anger in Pakistan among their awam, and they have to pacify them. They can, without posturing, they will lose face. So absolutely, as you said, this is posturing. but eventually they will accept a hybrid model.
Shubhan, is this a way to kind of put pressure on Jai Shah? Because they know that Jai Shah will be taking over as chairman of ICC on 1st December. They know his father is the Home Minister of India. They know that this is a way to kind of, showcase that, here we are, how strong we are, and try and put some pressure on Jai, because he's going to be the next ICC boss. Is this an attempt to kind of try and corner Jai Shah a little bit before he takes over? Is this that? Because if it is that, it's quite stupid. Shubhan.
I think so. I think so because generally, clearly, if the ICC Champions Trophy is under threat, then all eyeballs will be on Jasha, and it will be a tricky start for him. So I think the Pakistan or the PCB will try their best to, if they are not getting things in there like they want, then I think they will try to make Jasha's life a bit tricky at the start of his ICC tenure as the chair, and it's see, BCCI is doing whatever it's written in black and white. There's a clear clause written in black and white that only due if the government does not give them clearance due to security issues or some other issues, then only a team can pull out of that tournament or uh, ask the ICC to shift their matches to a neutral venue, and that is what the BCCI is doing and has been doing for a while. And they clearly have proofs to show diplomatically. If they are asked to show proof, then there are multiple incidents in the past, in the recent past, in the recent weeks also that have happened or that have happened in the border or in the Pakistan sector, which clearly states that it could be unsafe for the Indian players to go there, and no point putting the lives of the players in harm. But I some sort of agree. I would some sort of have an agreement there that PCB will try to make Jai Shah's stint as the ICC chair a bit tricky by doing all sorts of things. But I think at the same time they will have to prepare. They will have to be prepared to face sanctions and fines if they go in that line of threatening or pulling out from ICC events or not play India in ICC games. They can't afford to
Final
do that.
question, Devashish Bharat, same question, but what do you see? Shomik said they can't, Shubhan said they can't, Rohit said posturing. Do you eventually see Pakistan pulling out? Do you see a cartel champions trophy? Do you see world cricket getting divided? Or do you see Pakistan eventually coming down and saying, okay, you know what, we will play? What do you see, Devashish?
I see Pakistan playing in this Champions Trophy because no way they can pull out, and more so after the win against Australia. When your team has done well, winning a series against the world champions Australia in Australia, you want your players, you want to let down your players by not participating in Champions Trophy just just that India is not traveling to your country to take part. That will be absolutely weird on part of the PCB to pull out from the Champions Trophy. I think hybrid model is the best way forward, and it has already we have seen the case in Asia Cup when India traveled to Sri Lanka to take part in that in the Asia Cup matches. So good sense prevails in PCB, and they take part in the championship, which I think they will. Because no way can they deprive their cricketers who have done so well by winning that series against Australia.
Bharat Ramraj, last words.
Yes. Yeah, I guess they don't have much going for them, I guess. See, we have to be practical. Pakistan also have to be practical. How much support they will get if they really want to go against BCCI, or if they want to make it very tricky for Jai Shah when it comes to him becoming chairman. What kind of support they will get in, say, board meeting? So one has to be practical. Pakistan also have to be practical, and they have to go ahead with hybrid model or whatever. Although, as Debashi said, they have just won a series against Australia, but I'm not very sure that they think on those lines, because with PCB, with Pakistan cricket, you don't know whether they always think it. I'm saying whether I'm not too sure whether they will always think it logically, but finally, I guess they have no other choice but to fall in line and go ahead with hybrid model or whatever it is.
So there you go. I think we've done it for 1 hour and 4 minutes. Time to end the show with this thing. Acha ki eta ki bhai. There are so many ignorant people in social media uttering nonsense. Arey boss, finally somebody's close to my heart. The team didn't perform well. We should criticize positively and move on. Bhai, তুই কোথায় ছিলি ভাই? তুই কোথায় ছিলি? The team is hurt more than anyone else. Ashwin has said exactly this in his YouTube channel, and আমরা শুনেছি, মানে obviously the team hurt, but that doesn't mean people will not be constructively critical. It is the job of the media to be critical, and the media will be critical, but no abuse, no toxicity, no below the belt comments. To say that they owe an apology and all of that, hello, relax. Sanjay Manjrekar, the Michael Vaughan of India. Ita ami jani na. I actually do. Shubham, you want to quickly answer that? Sanjay Manjrekar, the Michael Vaughan of India?
একদম একদম
বল বাবা, তুই বল।
একদম সঞ্জয় মাঞ্জরেকর is the new Michael Vaughan of India.
New
Only
Michael.
thing he has blocked me.
মাইকেল ভন তো একটা অ্যাশেজ জিতেছে। মাইকেল ভন ওয়ান অ্যান অ্যাশেজ। Pray tell me, what is Sanjay Manjrekar's achievement as a cricketer? I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm just echoing what Ravindra Jadeja said.
দারুণ ব্যাট করেছিল, আমি দেখেছিলাম 1989
In Pakistan, in Pakistan, that is only claim to fame. In Pakistan.
West Indies are act show was a very good innings. Anyway,
Exactly.
What were you saying?
Yeah, I guess in broadcasting, when it comes to broadcasting, they're quite similar. For the record, I've been blocked by Mr. Michael Vaughan. So yeah,
you have been blocked by Michael Vaughan. Wow, Bharat Ramraj's claim to fame. I've been blocked by Michael Vaughan. Not bad, yeah, Bharat. Come on, this is funny. So clearly, you Bharat, this proves that you have made some sense. So no problem, don't worry. So on that note, I think we should end. We are launching a new series. We've launched a new series on leadership. Watch it, with India's best CEOs and best brains and best corporate leaders. We put out the first episode with Mr. TV Narendran, Managing Director and Global CEO of Tata Steel. We will have one episode every week. But also we are launching another series. The promo will be out in 1 hour from now. This was Shubhan and Devashish's idea. Auction Tales with Richard Madley. Some great stories. We will have the promo out today, and for the next 5 days, every day Richard Madley tells us a story about the IPL auction. And some of the stories are absolutely fantastic. That fellow still has the gavel, by the way, the first one. I told him, give it to our museum. And he started laughing. And he also has the first that thing given by, I said, come on, yeah, give it to a cricket tragic, give it to me. As an auctioneer, why do you want to auction this? Give it to me. So he has some really priceless artifacts, by the way, Richard Madley. So that series comes your way. At 7 p.m. is the promo, and we will have plenty tomorrow. Thank you very much, all of you, for watching. As I said, multiple people will be in Australia. We will have plenty of programming from different parts of the world. So keep watching the platform, subscribe, comment, criticize, be constructively critical, but no abuse. Abuse, block. Thank you very much for watching.